DreAllDay.com.
What's up, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. We are here for Q&A. This is Q&A number 13. As usual, I have not read any of these questions. I'm going to read them all and respond to them off the top. If you ask a question I have covered somewhere else, I will direct you to where you can find that. For those who don't know, please do not come in the comments and reply to the questions people ask me for the following Q&A, because then I'm going to have to block you off the channel. I don't want to have to do that. So don't reply to the comments. I don't care what you think the right answer is or what your opinion is. Just leave the questions until I get to them. All right. As far as everything else goes, y'all know the merchandise is at WOYG. That's workonyourgame.net. And I don't think I got any other announcements. Anything else you need to know? Oh yeah, workonyourgame.me. That's workonyourga.me. That is a new personal training program website. It is up and live now. There's an announcement video coming. I believe it's coming out tomorrow, which will be Sunday. So y'all see that, and you can go to the website now. It's live now. It's workonyourga.me. So workonyourgame.me, whatever you want to call it. That is out, up and live now. For those of you who want personal training, that's only for you specifically. It's not a program that I made that anyone can use. It'll be a program only for you specifically. Go to that website. You can see what your options are, what the packages are, and that's that. So let's get right into the questions. First question is Skinny Shack 33 says, how do you maintain / keep up with your homework throughout high school and college as a student athlete? With Skinny Shack, you just do it. You got 24 hours in a day. Prioritize what needs to be done, and everything else gets pushed to the back. You will figure it out, because you got 24 hours in a day, and if you're going to play sports in school for the third time, you will figure it out, or you won't play. So you'll figure it out. You can count. Diego Miras says, how do I become a better scorer? By putting the ball in the basket, Diego. Look at the videos I got on being aggressive. You just go to the search, type my name in, type in aggressive, and look at the videos I did for that. That should give you a little bit better idea. But if you want to be a better scorer, you just got to score more points. Get the ball more, work on your game, develop some skills so that you actually have the ability to do something with the ball when you get it. Bruce Wayne says, do I watch Shift Team HQ's videos? No, not really. Andrew Contreras says, is playing basketball overseas a good way to live money-wise? Well, you would have to decide what a good way to live means, and you haven't quantified that, so I can't answer that question. Diego, he already asked a question. Caleb Anders says, I love your videos. They've helped my game a lot. Glad to hear that, Caleb. Thank you. And he says a lot of people told him that he needs to play in the post more because he's 6'2" or 6'3", but outside the arc he shoots a high percentage, and in practice he knocks down 15 or so threes in a row. Should he work and develop more of a post game, or should he stick to the outside game? Well, Caleb, it's not about, well, first of all, why would you have to do one or the other? I mean, I have post skills, and I can shoot jump shots, and I can dribble with whatever other skills you want to name. Why do you have to only be able to do one or the other? You can do both. There are players, Kobe Bryant can hit threes, Kobe Bryant can post up. LeBron, the same thing. Dwayne Wade, a lot of players can hit threes and post up. Dirk, Kevin Durant, all the stars you could think of, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them can do both. So I don't understand why you're questioning whether you should do one or the other. And the more important part of your question is, that I'm replying to, is why do you think you need to do something just because somebody said it to you? Don't let other people think for you. Think for yourself. Devin Hawker says, what I think about the Sixers right now in the current situation they are in. Well, the Sixers are a bad team. They're going to have a bad record, and hopefully I think their strategy is to get a good draft pick. So we'll see how that works out, and then once they get the pick, how that player turns out for them. But I think they got a lot of young pieces for the future, but of course they got to actually perform on the court. Asan Khan says, in the video I was talking about the zone, where you get mentally in the zone, we feel like nobody can stop you. He says, was there a time I got into the zone and dominated the game? And he likes the videos, told a lot of people about me, and they've been inspired as players. So thank you for that, Asan. Do I have any situations where I felt like I got into the zone? Of course. The only way I can speak about it and make videos about it is because I've experienced it. That's the reason why I make these videos. I'm putting out stuff and talking about things that I've experienced in my life and sharing them with people with the hope that maybe some of you can learn from it and you won't have to go through so much trial and error as I did to get to those points. So that's the reason why I shared it. So the answer is yes, of course. King Ratchet Gaming says, I live on the East Coast. It's cold all the time. I love basketball. All I can do is shoot and rebound. I can't drive for my life. My handling is okay. I know I'm better than a lot of people when I play, but when I play in games, I don't really get the ball, and I try to get better. People think he cannot score. Do I have any tips on how to improve his scoring? And is there a Paul George signature workout program? Well, first off, King Ratchet Gaming, why are you mentioning that you live on the East Coast and it's cold all the time? What does that have to do with anything? If you want to play basketball, you play basketball. Play inside. All right, so and he says he can shoot and rebound. He said he can't drive and his handling is all right. But then he says he knows he's better than a lot of people, but in the games he doesn't do anything. Well, here's the reality, King. If you don't do anything in the games, you're not better than nobody. What you do in the gym by yourself doesn't mean anything if you're not doing it in the gym when there's actually a game taking place. The things you do in the gym alone, you work on those skills. You're developing your skills so that when you get into a game situation, you can perform. That's the purpose of it. You might have to practice 100 hours for every 1 hour you get of a game, but that's the trade-off that you're doing. That's the business that we're in when you play this game. You put in all that practice alone that doesn't really mean much in order so when you get into the games, or whatever games you play, whether it's one game, whether it's 1,000 games, you're ready to perform at that moment. So if you're not doing it in the game, then what you did in practice don't mean nothing. So you're not better than nobody. You just said you don't do nothing in the game, so how you better than anybody? That's just a reality that you need to accept first before we can move on to the next point, which is you need to start performing in games. The only way you're going to get better at performing in games is, number one, practice more so you can develop the skills you said you're not good at. You're not good at driving to the basket, and your ball handling is just all right, according to your description. So work on both of those things. I got over 800 drills posted on YouTube right now, right at this exact moment that I'm talking, that you're watching this video right now, that you could be using to develop your skills, driving skills and ball handling skills. As far as programs go, Paul George signature workout, yes, there is a Paul George signature workout. I don't know why you don't just go to the Hoop Handbook site and look. It's right there on the page, on the front page of the website. Yes, that does exist. In any other program that you'd be looking for to develop your skills, whatever area again you want to work on, there's a program for it at hoophandbook.com. So, King, in closing, playing more games, develop your skills. You got to actually do it in a game to say you're better than somebody. Shiloh Khan says, this is Magic Johnson or Kobe Bryant. If I had to pick, Kobe. Rob J says, he really enjoyed my books. 3 books that I've written, for those who don't know. One is called Buy a Game. That's completely free at my website, dreallday.com/buy a game. That's buy as in B-U-Y. Might buy groceries. Mental Handbook is my 2nd book, and The Mirror Motivation is my 3rd book. You can get all those on Amazon. Just go to my author website, dreallday.me. And he says, I'm in the process of writing another book, and keep it up. Well, Rob, right now I'm in the process of finishing up a new series of Hoop Handbook signature workouts. As soon as I get done with those and they're out, then I'm going to get to work on my next book, and I will be announcing that probably on my Facebook and on my Twitter. I'm not going to make a video saying that I'm writing a book. It won't matter till the book's done. When it's done, I might put out a video about it, but on my Twitter, which is Dre All Day, and my Facebook, which is /work on your game, I will announce when I get started on my next book, which should be no later than the end of the month of April. Chili Cloth. He said he laughed at something I said in the last video. I'm glad to entertain you. Mon Rosales says, I've been doing your dribbling workouts for 4 days, and he's improved a lot in his dribbling, especially with his left hand. Thank you. That's good, man. Congratulations. Keep working. I mean, you've been working for 4 days, so imagine what your hand will be like if you can keep working for 4 months. And then you actually go apply that stuff in live game situations. You'll get a lot better, and you'll keep getting better. You don't ever want to stop getting better. Ahmed Masood says, what position is most fun to play for me? They all fun to me. I mean, when I'm playing, I'm enjoying it. Basketball is an optional thing. It's a game. So if any part of the game ain't fun, then I don't know why anybody would play. So there's no one position that is more fun. It all also depends on the situation, like the personnel around me and the people we playing against, on what is most important for me to be doing. I'm a versatile player, so whatever the team needs for us to get the victory, that's what I'm going to lean towards doing. Devin Lacerna says, Dre, does the jump manual really work? Well, Devin, do you work? Do you know how to read? You know how to follow instructions? If the answer to those 3 questions are yes, then yes, the jump manual works. That's dreallday.com/jump. JW, what is the difference between confident and cocky? Well, there is no actual, well, I mean, there is kind of a definition if you was to look it up in the dictionary, which I'm not doing, but difference between confident and cocky to me is really just how people perceive you. So you could take a person who's confident and another person can look at that person and say, all right, that guy is confident. And then a different person can look at that guy and say, oh, he's cocky. I think, in my opinion, people who call someone cocky is just a person who doesn't have that much confidence of their own. So that when they see someone who has a high level of confidence, they're like, oh, why is that person so confident? And then it's just human nature to try to find something that's wrong with somebody when they have a level of something that's so much higher than your current level, just to make you feel better about yourself. So that person will say, oh, he's cocky. So it's not just that they're confident, they're cocky. So it's just like if a woman, it's just like some women, could be insecure. They see another woman who's more attractive than them and gets more male attention than them. So what they're going to say? They're going to say, oh, she's a hoe. Not even knowing anything about her sexual history, or not knowing anything about her sexual history that makes that woman any more promiscuous than the woman talking. But she calls her a hoe because that makes her feel better about herself, about the fact that that woman's more attractive than her. Oh yeah, she's more attractive, but she's a hoe. Oh, he's confident, but he's cocky. So it's just human nature. It has really nothing to do. There's no black and white definition. Like if you do this, you're confident, but if you do this, you're cocky. There is no black and white. It's just all people's perception and how they feel, which JW basically comes down to what other people say about you, which really don't mean shit. All that matters is what you say about yourself. Joe Colley says, keep it up with the videos and your journey to the NBA. Your workouts have been helping my blood sugars significantly. Joey, glad to hear that, and thank you. And he says, keeping them below 200 is really good. Thanks, man. All right, Joey, I don't even know exactly what that means, but if it's helping you, I'm glad that it's doing that. So you're welcome. And whatever you're doing, keep doing it. XXX795 said, would it be a Scottie Pippen signature workout? I haven't thought of Scottie Pippen, but now that you mention it, maybe I will do a Scottie Pippen workout program. Won't be in this next group that's coming out, which will probably be out this month, but in future, yes. So thanks for asking. The Affiliates Project says, does it annoy you when people ask the same question every week? No, it doesn't annoy me. Most of the time, I think people just post a question without watching the video. But if somebody asks something that I already answered, then I just tell them to go back to the old one. So no, it doesn't annoy me. Eric G says, what do you think is most important thing that separates an amateur and a professional in terms of offense? Most important thing, it'll probably be consistency. Just between an amateur and a professional. And that's a tough question, really, because an amateur could be any level. Amateur could be anybody from like an 8-year-old kid to somebody that's a senior in college. And there's a big gap between those two. And then when you're talking about a senior in college who might go play professional the next year and somebody who's a rookie in the league, it might not be that much difference between those two people. So that's a tough question to really ask. But I would say consistency, but it could be a lot of other things other than that. Like you could have someone who's not that great of a shooter who's a professional, but then someone who's an even better, more consistent shooter who's still in college. Like I said, college is like the highest level of amateurism you could be before you're in a position where you can get paid to play. So it's a tough question to ask because the gap is so big in different levels of amateurism. Kevon Wesley says he doesn't have a question, he just wanted to let me know that he started doing all the programs. People are already calling him MJ. That's a high bar to reach, Kevon, so glad to hear that. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep working. Jace Shillcutt says, thanks for answering his question. You're welcome, Jace. Jack Hankins says, what are my struggles on the court? Have I improved? If so, how? I don't have no struggles on the court. I just put in my work, improve what I need to improve, fix anything I need to fix, and then when the next game comes, we'll see what happens. Whether that be a pickup game, whether it be the NBA Finals, whatever. Tom Henderson says, how helpful is yoga or Pilates you do with your personal trainer for basketball? Well, Tom, you got to ask me a better question than how helpful is it. That's a very broad question. Ask me something more specific than how helpful. That's like asking me how helpful is it to work out. What do you mean? Be more specific. Zach L871 says, before you played on my school basketball team that I play in a rec league or a church or nothing. Zach, read my book, Buy a Game. That's at dreallday.com/buy-a-game. BUYAGAME. Free book. Rashad Merota says he's just curious. Could I do a collaboration with Shot Science Basketball? About what? What are we going to talk about, Rashad? Give me some ideas of why I should do a collaboration, and I might consider it. Andy Sketch Talk 23 says, when doing dribbling drills while blindfolded, help improve his ball handling, does it not matter? And he doesn't know if anyone has suggested, but are work on your game iPhone cases possible? Well, first of all, doing ball handling drills blindfolded, would I help improve ball handling? I don't know, because I've never done it, so you would have to do it and find out. I don't know why people, a lot of people will ask questions like that. You're not the first one, Andy Sketch Talk 23. People will say, well, if I do this, will it make me better? And I'm like, well, why don't you just fucking do it? Why are you asking me when you could just go do it and find out if it'll make you better? And then, as far as blindfolded, I mean, do you play basketball blindfolded? Why would you practice blindfolded? That wouldn't make sense to me. In basketball, you need to see what's going on the court. You're not going to be closing your eyes in the game, so why have your eyes closed while you practice? And as far as working your game, iPhone cases, I think that's something that could happen down the line. It's not something that's currently like in the process of happening right now, but that's something that could happen down the line. So thanks for the suggestion. Kirti Korha Singh says, what separates a great NBA player from a good player? Approximately all great and good guards / forwards can knock down a jump shot, so what makes one better than the other? Well, Curdy, you said approximately all great. That doesn't make any sense. Approximately means you're kind of summarizing, guesstimating, and then you say all, which means everybody. So which one is it? And what you saying, and what you said after that anyway is not true. You're saying all great and good guards and forwards can knock down a jump shot. It's not necessarily true. And when you say great, you had to quantify what great means. So you're making a lot of assumptive statements, using a lot of assumptive words that don't even go together. Your question doesn't exactly make sense, but I will answer your first question, which is what separates a great player from a good player. I had made a video on this, but I can't think of the title, so I'll just answer this question here. The difference between a great player and a good player is the amount of confidence that player feels in themselves. Like a great player at the highest levels of a sport, any sport, everybody's pretty talented. Everybody has all the physical tools. The difference between one guy and the next is just their focus, their discipline, and their confidence. That's it. If you was to look at a guy like today's Friday, April 4th, Nick Young from the Lakers, he scored like 40 points a few games ago. I didn't even see the game, but I'm just reading my Twitter timeline the next morning, and I see Nick Young, he's scoring all these points. And he has all the talent. I remember a few years ago when Gilbert Arenas used to do his blog on NBA.com, him and Nick Young were teammates in Washington. And Gilbert Arenas said, everything Kobe can do physically, Nick Young can do. And, a lot of people scoffed at that when Gilbert Arenas said it, because people didn't really know about Nick Young back then. He hadn't played that much. He was like a rookie. But now that I've seen Nick Young play over the years, Nick Young basically got every physical tool that Kobe got. I mean, they close to the same size. He can jump, he can run, he can handle it. The other day I was watching the New York Knicks had played, and J.R. Smith was having a good game. And somebody on Twitter had posted, like, J.R. Smith's having a great month of March, and they posted all the stats he had in the month of March. I'm like, what can Dwayne Wade do physically that J.R. Smith can't do? Nothing. I mean, J.R. Smith's actually taller than Dwayne Wade. What do they both do? Dwayne Wade got handle, he can jump. He's not a great shooter, but he can hit shots. He's athletic. He can lock up on defense when he wants to. Now, of all those things that I just said, what can J.R. Smith not do? J.R. Smith is bigger than Dwayne Wade. He probably is more athletic right now than Wade with Wade's knee issues. He's a better shooter than Dwayne Wade. I mean, I'm talking about raw shooting. Like if you was at both of them do drills, J.R. Smith's gonna make more shots than Dwayne Wade. He's just a better shooter. He has better shooting range. I mean, what does Dwayne Wade got that J.R. Smith doesn't have physically? Nothing at all. What does Kobe have that Tracy McGrady didn't have physically? Nothing. Tracy McGrady probably had more than him. What does, let's say, a Josh Smith or Rudy Gay have that LeBron James doesn't have? Physically, not much. I mean, LeBron probably has the size on a Rudy Gay, something like that. There's maybe a few details, but you get the point of what I'm saying. The gist of what I'm saying is These guys all have the physical tools. So what is it that makes Kobe and Dwayne Wade and LeBron James so great to the point that they've been the best player on championship teams while these other guys are just okay or good or bench guys, or they keep bouncing around to different teams, or their teams get better when they get traded often? And what is it? Is the focus to bring it every single day? We talk about practice in the games. Is the discipline to bring it every single day, practice in the games? This is all mental. And the confidence. The confidence that you feel like you walk into a room of 12 professionals where we're talking about everybody is really fucking good and you know you're the best there. And just by force of your ability, force of personality and focus and discipline, you're able to be the leader of that group. Being a leader of a group has nothing to do with getting up and making a speech. It's about what you bring every day to the point that people naturally follow you because of what you're doing every day. So that's what separates the good players from the great players. It has nothing to do with physical tools. It's not about how far you can shoot a jump shot from or what your vertical is or how many pounds you can bench press. It has nothing to do with any of that. That can separate people when we talk about amateurs. We're talking about high schoolers and 16-year-olds and college players. Yeah, that separates. When we talking about people who getting paid to play a sport, everybody's fucking good. It's all up here that separates one guy from the next. So that was a really good question, Kirta. Not very well worded, but a good question. Farzan Ali says, thanks for replying to his question. He has another one. He says, how do you deal with shit talkers on the court? Farzan, look up the video I posted. Just search my name, type in my name, and type in trash talk. I made a video about trash talking and how to deal with them. Vladimir 1 says, could I do a video where I dress like a scout or act like a scout? I'm preparing the team to play against me, and I'm scouting myself. What I think the scouting report would be on me. Well, I'm not doing a dress rehearsal to make it like acting, so that's definitely not going to happen. If you want to know, all right, he says, can I give a scouting report on me? Scouting report on me? I mean, that's the gist of his question. Let me see, what would the scouting report on me be? I say same things you would say when you're playing against any player who's good. As far as offensively go, if you're going against me offensively, you want to disrupt the player's rhythm. A player who can score, you got to disrupt their rhythm. Don't let them get into their comfortable zones. And defensively, a player who can score, you got to make them work. So whoever they're guarding, get that person the ball or get that person in situations where they're effective so that person who's a good player, that scorer, will have to work defensively. They might be a good defensive player. Make them work to play defense. Make them use some energy. As far as anything about me specifically, I wouldn't sit here and tell you how to stop me specifically. You would have to play against me and take your losses until you figured it out. Azadiel Agepong says, how do I prepare for high school basketball tryouts and how can I become a top high school player? Well, the answer to both of those questions is the same. Work on your fucking game. How do you prepare for basketball tryouts? All right, people keep asking me this shit. How do you prepare for basketball tryouts? There's no preparing for basketball tryouts. It's basketball. If you're trying out for a basketball team, that means you played basketball before. That means you understand how the game works, right? You know that when the ball goes in, you get points, and if the other team they shoot it and the ball goes in, they get points, and that the object of the game is to have more points than the other team. But everybody watching this video already knows that. Nothing changes about it just because you had a basketball tryout. At a basketball tryout, whoever's in charge wants to evaluate your skills and find out who the best players are, and those are the players that person in charge is going to keep. There is no guideline, there's no rule book of basketball tryouts that says you have to do this, then this, then this. So when people come to me and say, oh, we got tryouts next week, what should I expect? I don't fucking know. I don't know your coach. I don't know what he's going to do or she is going to do. You're going to some exposure camp. I don't know how it's going to be run. I don't know who's in charge. I don't know how they're going to set up the drills. I don't know. I cannot predict what's going to happen at your tryouts. One thing I do know is going to happen is you're going to play basketball. And you already know how to do that, right? So stop asking me what's going to happen at basketball tryouts. The question makes no damn sense. So if you want to be ready for basketball tryouts, keep working on your game, which you should be doing already since you're watching this video. And if you want to be a top basketball player, keep working on your game. There is no end to working on your game. It goes on forever. The day you stop working is the day you stop playing. Next question. Enoch D. Boss says he appreciates my respect for the game. Well, thank you. He says, if I could create another tagline other than work on your game, what would it be? If I create another one, it would be work on your fucking game. And he said he has two questions. I'm going to let him get away with this. He said you post a lot of videos through the years, which is true. He says, how important has it with these videos? How important has it been to have these videos in terms of studying your game? Have they enhanced my experience as a student of the game of basketball? Well, my experience as a student in the game of basketball is enhanced by when I play against people. When I practice, when I do stuff, a lot of the stuff that I post on YouTube is just me working out on my own, on the court. The on-the-court stuff when I'm by myself, that's developing skill. So it's not about me studying that, it's about developing skill. Of course, I got all the video, I can watch it anytime I want. I developed myself as a student of the game by playing the game and thinking about what's going on the court. That only comes from experience. Ant Reed says he just started grabbing the rim, but he still can't dunk. He says the ability to dunk is something you practice, or is it working on vertical or any other type of solution? Well, Ant Reed is all one and the same. I mean, the ability to dunk, of course you have to practice it. How are you going to dunk if you're not jumping? I mean, if you're working on your vertical, you're jumping. And if you're jumping, and if you're dunking, you got to be jumping. So it's all the same thing. Why can't you do it all at the same time? I don't know. I doubt you use the jump manual, because if you did, you'd probably be dunking by now, which is at dreallday.com/jump. It's probably an annotation up here somewhere for that. It says add 10 inches to your vertical in 12 weeks. So that should be an answer to your question. Is there any other solution, like some magic trick that's going to make you jump higher? No. Jared says, would I rather play in the D-League or overseas? I don't pick either. I mean, if a situation arises where something works, it works. If not, then not. Dmitry Tukovic says, I should collab with Baller Bootcamp. Why? What are we going to talk about? What do they have to offer that would be new and, interesting to this audience? Just saying I should work with them doesn't mean anything to me. And the next question, John Jones or Gene says, he would like to see me collab with Randy Booker, the Breakthrough. Why? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna talk about? These people that you're telling me I should collab with, give me a reason. Tell me what this person or these people or this group or this whatever they are, what do they bring to the table that will be interesting and unique to this audience? Just naming a name means absolutely nothing to me. So give me a reason why I should collab with these people. And for those who haven't seen any collaborations I have done, go to my channel, the playlist. I've done collaborations with a bunch of people. Nightwing, Former Simpson, Kick Genius, Big Brandon Carter. I can't even remember everybody else, but I got another one coming actually very soon, which is not any of the people they named. But if you go to the collabs playlist, you'll see all the people I collaborated with. 10,000 Hours, Devin Williams was another. Alright. And that's it. Alright, so thank you for all the questions, everybody. Pretty good questions in general. Any of you have further questions, anything I have not covered already in these Q&As, go ahead and leave it in the comments to this video. And that's that. Everybody enjoy their weekend. Like I said, all merchandise is at workingyourgame.net. We got the bands there. You can see these in detail on the website. WOYG.net, that is, not Working Your Game, but WOYG.net. WorkingYourGame.me, the training site is now up and running. You can get your own personal training package made by me. You can also contact me. I'm offering phone conversations, phone consultations, and text message communication on that website, so you can check that out. All the information is there on that website. The announcement video will be coming out tomorrow. That's that, everybody. Enjoy the weekend. Work on your game. Dre all day.
This is Coach Christian Grudeli from Europe. Work on your game.